Okay, so I have been seeing so many videos on the off-campus series lately, and honestly, that's valid. Even I have made like two videos on it myself because those characters just live in my head rent-free. But while everyone is talking about off-campus, there is this another series that has been sitting quietly in the corner and waiting for its big moment. And that moment is coming because the Windy City series by Liz Tomforde is reportedly being developed as a show. And I just need to take a second, like, and talk about it because if you think you love the off-campus characters, wait until you meet this found family. So it has five books, five couples, and all set in Chicago. There's hockey players, basketball players, baseball players, and what I really love about this series is that every single couple in this book is healthy. Their bond is so pure and so genuine. These characters, even though they have scars, but they work through them together, and it is so refreshing to read. So let's talk about what you can expect from each book and how much reading I have given to each of them. So let's get into it. We will start with the first book, which is Mile High, and I would rate it at approx 3.5 out of 5. Not my highest rating in the series, but I want you to be clear that a 3.5 from me on a list of word book still means that I have stayed up past midnight reading it and felt something. So, in this book, we have Evan Zanders, NHL hockey player, notorious playboy, the kind of guy who has a different girl in every city, believe me. And his management team actively encourages this because it keeps him in the tabloids. All the surface, he is all confidence, he's shows all bravado and zero depth. And then there is TV Shea, who is a flight attendant on the team's private plane. And from literally their first interaction, she is just completely unbothered by him. He pulls his usual charm, and she looks at him like, okay, and so, and Sanders, who has like never in his life had someone not respond to him the way he expects, does not know what to do with that. And that is where it gets good because when you actually get into Zender's head, you realize this man is terrified of being left. His mom walked out on him and his sister when they were kids. His dad shut down completely after that. And so Xander's built this whole persona of the fun guy, the party guy, and the guy who doesn't need anyone. Because if you don't need anyone, no one can hurt you by leaving, right? And Stevie, who has her own stuff going on around the self-worth and the body image, things her mom's, comments drilled into her for years, she is the first person who sees through every layer of that performance of Xander's, and she doesn't even try to fix him. She just refuses to play along with the version of himself he keeps on performing and showing to people. So it is just so refreshing to watch like how much comfortable they are in front of each other. So for the next book in the series, we have The Right Move, and this is where I am jumping to a solid 4.5 out of 5, and I feel no need to justify that. So there in this book there is Ryan Shea, who is Stevie's twin brother. So we have already met him in a book 1, and from the moment he appeared on the page I was like, okay, your book needs to come out immediately. So he is the new captain of the Chicago Devils basketball team. He is grumpy, rigid, color codes his fridge, goes to bed at the same time every night, does not do small talk, does not do social events, and does not do people. And then Indy Ivers, Stevie's best friend, a professional dancer, sunshine and chaos in human form, ends up needing a place to stay because she is just caught her boyfriend cheating. So basically, she moves in with Ryan into his very organized, very silent, and very scheduled apartment. And what I love is that Ryan does not melt immediately. He 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 does not like see her and suddenly transform. He is irritated by her. She is too loud, too emotional, too expressive about everything, when he process everything internally. And she finds him too cold, too closed off, impossible to read. And but then and then they make this deal that she will pretend to be his girlfriend for the team, because his management needs him to seem more personable to the press, and he will be her, and he will be her date to a wedding where her ex is going to be there with his new girlfriend. So basically, this is fake dating, forced proximity, living together, all three at once. And then their romance grows so quietly between them, like neither of them announces it. It just, seeps in through the shared moments, through small moments, through the way Ryan starting noticing her little quirks, and instead of being annoyed, starts cataloging them. So basically, protecting them. And then this scene happened where Ryan learns ASL, American Sign Language, in secret because Indy's dad is deaf. So he just goes away and learns it quietly without telling anyone, without making it as a grand gesture. So this is totally a peak boyfriend behavior, and I will not hear otherwise. So do give this book a read, and let me know if you also feel the same as I do when I read this book. Okay, so for book 3, we have Caught Up, and I'm giving this book 4.5 out of 5 as well. And honestly, it could fight the right move for the top spot depending on my mood that day. So basically, Kai Rhodes is a star pitcher for Chicago's MLB baseball team, and he is also a single dad to a 1-year-old named Max, and he is completely visibly drowning. He keeps fighting nannies because no one feels right with his son. He is that protective, that particular about who he trusts around Max, and meanwhile, he is also trying to hold his career together, and it is just so much for one person and for a single parent. So, and on the other hand, there is Myla Montgomery, who is a high-end pastry chef who just won a prestigious award and is now creatively blocked, panicking, and needs a break from her whole life. Her dad, who happens to be a Kai's head coach, talks her into spending the summer as Mac's nanny. Kai does not want her there. She is chaotic and warm and takes up space in his like very tightly controlled world. And Myla does not particularly want to be there either. She is supposed to be figuring out her career, not babysitting a 1-year-old kid. But then she starts baking with Max and this little baby who is the most precious fictional child ever written. I will fight anyone on this. Just lights up completely, and Kai watches from the kitchen doorway. This exhausted, guarded man watching his son to be genuinely happy, and something just loosens in him. What I am swooning over in this book is that Kai's quiet devotion. Like, he does not sweep Myler off her feet with grand romantic gestures. He fixes her broken chef's knife without saying anything. He learns what coffee she drinks. He basically clears his schedule on a day she is stressed without her asking. It is all these small intentional acts of care that accumulate into something overwhelming. So grab a tissue for this one. I am not even joking. So for book 4, we have Play Along, and for this, I would rate it 4 out of 5. So basically, in this, Isaiah Road, who is Kai's younger brother, he's also a baseball player, reckless, impulsive, relentlessly charming, and has been low key obsessed with Kennedy K for the entire time he has known her. Kennedy is the team's athletic trainer, the basically one and only woman right now on the medical staff who has spent years fighting to be taken seriously in a space that has not always made it easy for her. She does not date team players. This is her one rule. She has held that line perfectly until Las Vegas. So basically, they run into each other on a work trip. They have too much to drink, and they wake up next morning with rings on their finger and a marriage certificate they do not remember signing. And Izai, who who has wanted her for so long, convinces her that the way to protect her job is not to quietly annul it and pretend it never happened, but to tell everyone it was planned. Like totally opposite. But m- like a secret elopement, a real relationship. So the comedy in this book is genuinely so good. Izai is a chaos with a force that belongs in a magazine, and like watching him trying to be convincing husband while actually desperately wanting to be a real husband. So this book is funny and sweet and frustrating in the best way. And for the book 5, the finale, rewind it back. So I would rate this book also 4.5 out of 5. And I say that knowing this one will hit differently depending on how much, second chance romance destroys you, because it completely destroyed me. So there is Rio De Luca, who has been in the background for this entire series. Every book, every gatherings, every found family moment, Rio is there, quiet and steady and clearly carrying something no one knows about. What we find out is this: so when Rio was 12, his family moved next door to a Hart family, and he and Haley Hart grew up together, fell in love as teenagers, were together all through high school, and then when they were 19, something happened, something that broke not just their relationship but their entire families, and they have not spoken since. And Rio has spent 6 years not getting over her. Every woman he meets, he compares to her. He does not even mean to, but he just cannot stop. And then Haley signs for an internship with an interior designer firm in Chicago. She does not know Rio lives there. And the house she is assigning to renovate is his. So they are basically neighbors again, and they are forced to work together. And everything that was left unsaid for 6 years is just sitting in every single room between them. What I loved about this is that Liz Tomforde does not rush the forgiveness. It is patient and painful. And there is, a secret that Haley has been keeping that changes the context of everything. So when it finally comes out, and Rio has to decide what he does with that truth. But the thing I am genuinely swooning over is the mixtapes. So basically, Rio has been making physical mixtapes since he was a teenager, songs that reminded him of Haley, songs from every year they were apart, songs for every feeling he could not say out loud. So 6 years of mixtapes, one for every year she was gone. And when they finally get to the truth, all of it, he gives them to her, like all of them, because he wants her to know, like, she was never actually gone for him, not for even for a single day. Like, oh my god. So I seriously cried when I read this book, and I have like no regrets on that. So this is all. And if they make this into a show, which I genuinely hope they do, I need them to cast it perfectly because these characters deserve to be on screen. So drop in the comments if you have read these series, which what is your ranking, and if you have not started it yet, go and read them. So like and subscribe if you are new here. I post book recommendations every week, and I promise the next one is just as good. So see you then. Bye.